We recorded Firestarter up in the mountains, so it definitely had a different feel.
Luckily, we had a friend who let us use his cabin up there, and we were up in Grand Lake, which is beautiful.
Up at a cabin in the winter with the snow in the mountains near the lake. Just definitely a different vibe.
What'd you say? Okay, wow, that's dark, man. That's really dark.
Have you heard our new song, Nick?
I think we all kind of made a collective decision to make a darker album.
We covered a lot of kind of serious topics, relationships and environment and being isolated and wanting to escape, civilization.
But that said, there's so many great and varied pieces on the record, from darker stuff to brighter, more inspirational stuff.
And even though it's a dark album, there's kind of the undertone of hope with it as well. So hopefully that can kind of resonate with some people.
Oh!
Nice to see you. Thanks, yeah. Let's see. Oh, that's much better.
Hey, that does not sound bad.
And we were isolated away from everybody, and we were able to really focus on recording for 4 days.
We're all, adults with adult responsibilities, and there's always sorts of distractions when you're down here. Not that they're bad distractions, but that's what they are, they're distractions. And sometimes you just gotta take yourself away from that and really focus on one thing. And I think that's what we needed to do.
I think Firestarter's a better album for having recorded it up in the mountains in the cabin. The environment itself definitely played a role. There's a lot of environmental themes and ideas on the record that I think come through in the music, simply because of our surroundings, being surrounded by such beautiful nature.
Each one of us comes from a background of spending a lot of time outdoors. And you could tell from our album artwork that's something that we wanted to integrate. And even from the lyrics, that's something that we put in our album a lot. Our first music video was filmed all over Colorado, various places.
Oh, hey, bud. Run!
So that really, for me, whether it's a lighter song, a heavier song, a louder song, a quieter song, the main theme that I feel that plays through the whole thing consistently is kind of that, being outside, finding yourself kind of vibe.
Bring it hard, bro. Bring it hard.
We were able to kind of take some breaks and go for some walks, go for some hikes and runs.
So in the spirit of proving who the real masochists are, Chris and I are going for a run. It's 20 degrees outside. 20 degrees.
Terrible idea.
I don't know whose idea this was.
We went to the hot springs there, so yeah, it was great.
We're gonna go on a hike because we're a band. We're united in our spirits or something. Where are we?
It was just really fun, the four of us in a cabin, just recording music and having fun. So it was a lot different from the first one. It was really fun though.
Wait, what's between our legs? I guess I gotta
Who
fix that.
cares?
What is that?
That's the portal to the other world. You You didn't realize that the guys in the band were talented,
That's
did you?
pretty cool, but
You wouldn't have known that.
Tyler, get the microphone. The acoustics in here are killer.
My actual favorite moment from our recording experience was what I lovingly call the guacamole circle. There was a moment where we had recorded for days and nights and we were all tired. We needed a snack, so I went to the kitchen and I made a big old bowl of guacamole. But therein lies the problem, is when you make a bowl of guacamole, there's only one bowl of guacamole and there's 4 bandmates. So how do you solve that problem? You put a chip in each hand, you start walking in a circle. Every time you walk past that bowl, you get a dip. Take a bite, keep going in your circle. When you circle back around, you take another dip, take another bite.
Like a bonding experience for the band. This time, let's pretend we like each other.
I think my favorite song in the album is Addict. I really like to listen to music with really deep grooves in it, and generally that's not something we're doing. And when it came to Addict, we could really feel that groove between the drums and the bass.
That bass line in Addict came out of a jam we were doing. That was pretty cool.
And Nick and I stepped aside while we were recording it to try and figure out how can we make that really feel good? How can we make that groove hit you? And I think we really got into that and got it really good.
Your habit, nothing but an addict.
See, I feel like that song is like the most bizarre song out of them all.
I agree.
It makes no sense.
It's part of what I like about it.
I love
though.
it. It's non-formulaic
There's no
at all.
structure.
I love
a
this.
weird little chorus in the middle.
Basically in 4 parts.
I just
It's a
love-
very kind of progressive, experimental.
Something that I would pick to listen to over a lot of other stuff.
I like it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, actually that, I think, as opposed to maybe Liar, I think is one of the more crazier times we played the end of that
Yeah,
song. Which is good.
It's a great way to start the record.
Well, I would say Blinders was pretty awesome because that song kind of started out with like a simple acoustic ballad almost.
And that was kind of interesting because we had all different versions of demos for that song. It started out as kind of a hard song, soft, then a hard song. It morphed a lot before we went into the recording studio. And even when we were going in, we knew there was some sort of song there, but we had no idea what it was really going to turn out and sound like. There was a bit of a skeleton there, but that's about it.
feel like it was like 2 in the morning, and like Chris was recording guitar, and I was like, just add another layer, and I was like, this is awesome, like just keep going, and we just layered all these things to it, and it just kind of like morphed into this incredible dense song. That was pretty cool. It came out of nowhere.
I like it. I think
Okay.
it would be awesome to double it. Which is crazy.
Like exactly.
Close as possible. Like having both on either side, like left and right.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it was fun just kind of sitting down and kind of experimenting with it and see what happened.
All right.
What'd you think?
That was pretty cool.
Recording Isolation Point was pretty cool.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick? For the verse, the pitchfork on around.
I feel like it is part of the sound. That
Yeah, I think it's cool. I like it.
I had a vision kind of in my head of, like what you're seeing as you listen to that song. And when we were out in Granby and we were on the lake, and it was frozen over, and I was just running through that song in my head. The lyrics kind of intertwined with the location of where we recorded. It was pretty cool just thinking how it all came together, how we added all these parts to it. That was probably my favorite moment, just seeing how that song came together.
I don't know what that means. I think that's some sort of sexual reference. I think there were just a lot of moments on the record while we were recording it that surprised us how much tighter and how much more dynamic a lot of the songs got in the recording process.
When we play shows, we generally try to pay a lot of attention to dynamics. I feel like while in this recording session, like when we were recording this album, we paid a lot more attention to that as well.
Yeah, I remember Nick, you kind of stopped us in the middle of one song. I think it was Dissonant Swell.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys came in at 98%.
We were just playing it too loud throughout the whole thing, and you kind of brought us down.
I just think it's all about just managing that dynamic over the course of it.
We were much more thoughtful. We would play something and then we would stop to talk about it for a little bit and figure out what we wanted to do, what kind of feel we were going for.
Yeah, we need less so we can really build that. Because that's the magic.
We tried to integrate that, and then we'd play it again and see if that felt better. Sometimes it didn't, sometimes it did.
I think we lost the pick at the beginning to make it softer, finger picked it, and really kind of built up that whole end part.
So much feel, so good. I mean, we spent a lot of time practicing and rehearsing the tracks before going up there, but once focused, I I really think we clicked really well. We heard a lot of things that I don't think we really noticed before.
Damn it. Third time. Charmy.
I know we all put a ton of work into this album over the last, more than a year, probably 2 years. Some of these songs were being written for years. So I would hope people would, just take a second to really sit down. I know people are busy, they have busy lives, and it's hard to actually take an hour to sit down and listen to a whole album. But I think if people did, they'd kind of see the songs for what they're worth, and they're more than they first seem.
Just molecules. There's a lot of like little layers and things to it that you don't really listen to the first time through, but maybe your fourth or fifth time through, you're like, oh, I hear like another little part in there. Like I've listened to it a million times, obviously, but I still like hear little parts that I didn't really hear before. Especially listening to the very end of the album because it's got some really cool layered songs at the end.
My hope is that for this album is that enough people listen to it that want to hear music more from us, that it encourages us to make another album. I mean, we all love recording, and that's really the ultimate goal, is just keep making music. So hope enough people will enjoy it to keep us going.
I hope they feel like parting with dollars for the record. That sounds like a good idea, and putting them in our pockets. No.
Well, yes, but...
No, I just hope people really take an opportunity to listen to it. I think it's a cinematic record. Each of the songs feels a lot like you're watching a movie. Everything's got a very kind of epic feel to it. And I hope it's something that a lot of people can connect with, and gives them a soundtrack for their life. Man, that was a cheesy answer.
No, it's good.
Oh, man, that's so deep.